We just landed on the moon in the Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle.
Hello, future millionaires. This is Aztec, and this is the CSE. This year has been entirely insane, but January and February, in my opinion, are just the beginning of a huge bull run finale to come, coming very soon. But will it be in April or will it be later? Now that's the question on everyone's mind. Now I believe April is a pivotal month, but I don't necessarily think it's a continuation of January and February and March. I actually believe it will be the opportunity for traders and value investors to position themselves to get in and get ready for the rest of the year, possibly the rest of the bull run. Alright guys, so you want to know, what do I mean about positioning ourselves for the rest of the bull market? Let's get into this. I'm going to be bringing up the Google Trends, which is the leading indicator. We're going to bring up token metrics, so we're going to involve the AI-driven platform. And of course, look over charts to get a good understanding of where we're at in the market, but also, what do I think is going to happen in the next month or so. I don't make videos that often, so I like to tie in what I think is going to happen in the next coming weeks, possibly months. In this case, we'll also bring up some projects, smaller cap projects that I'm interested in, because I think April might not be a huge continuation of what we've had last portion of the year, but it could be very exceptional for some very small caps. And I think that we're going to get a lot of down sideways type action here in April, mainly because people will be positioning themselves for May, because supposedly May is supposed to be this, huge bearish month. Now, because people may be positioning themselves, that may kind of take away from the volume. That is a possibility, especially with all these institutional type investors and even big private investors that are getting into Bitcoin. They may be kind of holding off for better buy. So as we can see here, the AI does show that a lot of tokens 30-day prediction is down, not heavily, probably at an average of 20%. This is just the AI, of course. It's one indicator that you look at. A lot of stable coins are in the top on this monthly chart here, kind of also hinting that you should have some allocations towards stable coins. Not financial advice, of course, but that's all interesting. Also, we recently hit this high of March Bitcoin, but we didn't hit our major resistance here, the 3.618, which is a projection based off the down fib of the last bull market, and that's actually around 64K. I've brought this up several times, but we didn't hit that. I think that is the major resistance that is coming up. The indicators on the chart just look like they look corrective. You can look at this RSI, and we were at a high here, again here, and it's just kind of moving down sideways. We are pretty neutral though. Our MACD is showing a little sell pressure here, that the MACD crossed over the signal. Down here, histogram does show the selling pressure, and our Stokes do show that we got a sell signal right here on 2nd of April. And just zooming out here on the daily, it looks like there could be move down, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be anything crazy. It could just be kind of this down sideways. So very realistically, what April could be, to me, is a great time for value investors to look for the dips, because if we get a small dip for Bitcoin. It doesn't have to be huge. We could revisit 52K or something like that. The bottom side of this Bollinger Band's meeting up with this 50-day moving average. That's right around 50K. Let's say we revisit that. The alts could definitely see a more hefty corrective type move, and at that time that would be probably a beautiful time if you have some stable coins on the side, some cash, maybe you got some stimmy checks still left over. Might be a great time to buy. So what I'll be interested in is definitely UFT. They're having a token unlock on April 15th. I'm going to buy the crap out of it because I imagine people are going to think that be giving up at the wrong time, in my opinion, and I'm going to be buying a lot more at that time and staking it, because staking is now live for UFT. So Uniland Finance is definitely something I'm interested in, and definitely more persistence. Now we'll get into that, their XPRT token. We'll get into these two gems in my opinion, but as you can see here, overall, I'm not extremely bullish this month. What I'm doing is looking for those projects that have seen some corrections and are looking to possibly move up maybe in June, July. So obviously I want to buy some more Ethereum if we correct. Ethereum, if we look at Ethereum, if we revisit maybe like at the 21, even around 1800, 1900 dollars, that would be beautiful. Overall, that's what I'm seeing, from a macro point of view. And this is just a fun logarithmic regression chart here, and as you can see here, they kind of have like these little categories of maximum bubble territory, sell, seriously sell, FOMO, is this a bubble, HODL, still cheap, simulation buy, and basically a fire sell. The colors that indicate the kind of area that we're at. This is a fun chart. I don't think this is very scientific, but it is interesting to see. I think that in a way this can be respected, because you do see that based off the history, it is kind of a chart that has been respected by the printing of handles. And I do believe we have more room to move up. We haven't really hit that institutional mass adoption peak that I think is coming. You had MicroStrategy's buying around 52K. I think that they're buying because they think prices are still going to go up. So there's a real chance that if we do move sideways, that's great, because that just gives us more room to correct in time for the indicators to reset, and that gives people the thought that it's a better time to buy. And we've been moving so fast since the beginning of the year. It might be a nice little time to go ahead and let us go sideways, and that could even increase the maximum territory for Bitcoin and the rest of market cap for the bull run. So very interesting. As you can see, as you go further sideways, the height of this logarithmic regression chart continues upward. Sideways is good. Now, very interesting to see. Google Trends is showing that Bitcoin is just moving sideways. So searches for Bitcoin are not necessarily going down dramatically. They're not going up. They're just going sideways. So it's the same amount. And that's good in my opinion. Kind of goes along with what I'm saying. Ethereum, though, on the other hand, searches are starting to increase. And this is important to me because with the new Ethereum proposals that are coming, though everyone's talking about this, Ethereum becoming deflationary. This is interesting because that means that we're getting the tick upward. Are we going to see a massive amount of interest coming for Ethereum? I think so. Proof of stake is coming for Ethereum. All these really interesting, great proposals are coming. Optimism, which is a scaling solution for Ethereum, is coming, I believe, in May. And you also have Polygon, Matic doing exceptional things, scaling Ethereum. So network congestion could dramatically go down, and the narrative for Ethereum could dramatically change. And I think that, I just want to throw this out there, I think this big dip on Ethereum was people playing around. As you know, the way it works is these exchanges liquidate hunt, and they do this to gather up the assets that they want. And in this case, I think Ethereum, there was some kind of massive liquidation hunt here to gather tons of Ethereum from investors or traders that were in longs, and they could then gather up that Ethereum and then sell it to institutional players. This is why I don't play around with margin, rather just hold. I think there's enough volatility in crypto that you don't need margin. But essentially, I think that's what this was, because there's a lot of institutional players that are looking to scope Ethereum at premiums. So Ethereum, I think, is definitely going to have a really exceptional end of the year. Interestingly enough, BNB is also seeing a surge in interest, and I really think that if there is another platform out there that is getting a lot of adoption, it's Binance Smart Chain. Very interesting. You guys need to check this out. If you're not getting into Binance Smart Chain, you should be. You should be at least just researching. Now, I really think the next in line for Ethereum isn't Binance Smart Chain, but it does have a lot of interest. But the next in line for Ethereum, I really think, is the Cosmos ecosystem. So the things that they're doing are just really revolutionary, and the way that they have, the whole Tendermint based blockchain and everything, it just seems to be possibly the next best thing. In this case, we also have a decline in interest in NFTs. Now, what's really interesting about this is that we could see kind of a decline in interest in general, but I don't think that this is the end for NFT. So people are saying bubble, bubble, bubble. People were saying that about DeFi last year, and DeFi had this major pullback. I think it was in October. You have to see the market cap for DeFi now. Here, this is by Pulse, October of last year. Yeah, right here. So October of last year, there's this nice dip here. Everyone was freaking out about this dip, and as you can see, come November, we had a massive surge in the total value locked in DeFi. So the amount of money or cryptocurrency that is now in the DeFi space has just blown up. So there's what we have to realize is that there is pullbacks, of course, but then if we're in a bull market and this bull market continues, this pullback that we may be seeing for NFTs can just be a drop in the bucket for the interest and the amount of money that's in NFTs currently. So if we're getting a kind of decline in interest right now, and we're going to get a pullback, then this is going to be the best time to start looking at major players in the NFT space. So this is the time, guys. April and May are going to be time to look, in my opinion, for these NFT plays. So just realize that, because everyone was freaking out last year, October, about DeFi. Thought it was, bubble into, DeFi, it's over, DeFi's dead. Look, guys, a couple months later, boom, just meteoric rise. Interestingly, this kind of segues into DeFi itself on Google Trends. And as you can see, we're continuing to steadily rise in interest here. And there's a lot of really revolutionary things going on in DeFi, so makes sense. Moving on, let's get into these small caps. Uniland Finance, guys, big deal, really big deal. They are going to have a token unlock on April 15th, and sometimes investors take profits at that time. If this happens, if we see any kind of further dip, this is, in my opinion, going to be absolute best time, next best time. The best time was the last dip, around 35 cents, and the best time before that was when it IDO'd. So you could have got in on Uniland around 15 cents. In my opinion, I think the next best time for buying Uniland is going to be after the token unlock, and I am definitely looking for a huge buy. And one of the reasons why is because their flagship product for lending and borrowing of any assets, permissionless, is coming at some point. That's on the roadmap. You also have layer 2. There's going to be probably a lot of hype around layer 2. Meta transactions. Some really big things are coming. So beyond what's already happened, which is staking, they just released their staking airdrops. They have great rewards for UFT, and in general, they also just launched their flash loan feature, and this feature is better than Aave, and not that many people know about this just yet. And this is going to be, in my opinion, the biggest catalyst bringing in more liquidity into Uniland. We're going to be staking so that they can receive part of the transaction fees that are going on for these flash loans. So imagine having 70% of the fee going to you as a staker, and imagine Uniland becoming the most used flash loan product on the market because they have the best product. It's truly 3 times more gas and cost efficient than Aave's. You can see here from this article, they actually have proof on etherscan.io of the first ever Uniland flash loan. And here's all the numbers, all the data. You can go ahead and look at it. Essentially, this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge in my opinion. Also, Persistence just had their token launch, and if you don't know about Persistence, you definitely need to do your research. Here's their website, and they have many different products that they're building and are already in use, for instance, like Comdex. Also, they have Audit.1. This is their staking as a service feature. They have P-Stake, which is coming soon, which is what I'm really, really interested in. They also have P-Lend and Asset Mantle. Asset Mantle has to do with NFTs. P-Lend has to do with debt financing. So really interesting things that are coming. P-Stake, though, we have to get into this because if you haven't read this article and you're interested in Persistence, definitely take a look. Kind of explains all the different products, tech stack. P-Stake, here it is. So essentially, there will be starting with Atom, which is Cosmos's token. Here's the explanation. So it says, let's take Atom as an example. Since we are beginning P-Stake with Cosmos Hub Chain, traditionally, once an Atom holder stakes their tokens, their atoms are illiquid. So you stake your token, it's stuck in a staking contract. You can't move it around or do anything. They're saying here, not with P-Stake. P-Stake will allow the issuance of representative tokens on Ethereum, which are backed one-to-one by those staked assets. By doing so, illiquid staked atoms converted to liquid representative ERC20 tokens that can be utilized within the vast DeFi ecosystem of Ethereum. Just one more paragraph. This will allow proof of stake tokens stakers to take advantage of a wide range of yield generation opportunities currently inaccessible to them. For example, staked atoms can now be utilized as collateral to borrow other crypto assets, stable coins, which can then be used for various financial strategies. Essentially, you'll stake your tokens. In this case, they're referencing atoms. It could be XPRT in the future for any token. And let's say you're staking XPRT, you're getting 35%, which is you can currently get. So I'm just using ballpark numbers here. And you stake your XPRT, you're getting 35% APR. And through this product here, P-Stake, you can then get representative tokens. So kind of like a clone of same tokens that are being staked. And then you can use those, pretty much derivative of your tokens, and then go use them in DeFi. So do a number of things, but one example here is take those staked tokens and then borrow stable coins. And then you could potentially take those stable coins and use them to stake as well, or put them into some DeFi protocol that yields whatever their LP token is, whatever. So you could potentially be getting possibly around 50%, APY altogether. And just imagine, in a bull market, the opportunity that gives you, or what that could give you in the future, just derivatives of derivatives or whatever, So P-Stake is very interesting. And there's a number of other products that they have. I would say definitely check out this article. Is really great read. It really helps you understand persistence because it's a very vast ecosystem. As you can see here, it says ushering in new era of next-gen financial products. Persistence is going to be a big deal, in my opinion. They just launched, and if you've seen some other Cosmos type tokens out there like Terra has done exceptionally well. You can see here that in November of last year, Luna token was roughly around 25-30 cents, and now it's literally $18. Since is also a project that's within the Cosmos ecosystem with amazing products, some already working and some that are coming very soon. So I imagine this project's going to do very well, and I'm also invested in this as well as UFT. So where's the future? I think this whole month, May possibly, if we get some kind of drop or anything, this is the best time, in my opinion, to start buying these small cap coins, positioning yourself the rest of the bull market. That's it, guys. Never give up on the future of money. Take it easy.